Hello, everybody. Hey, it's Ken Faulkner. Back again. I'm putting out way more videos than normal this week because I am off work. And I got extra time. And I got a bunch of knives to show you. So here we go. Got another one. This is one of the kind of old school towards the beginning of the channel. I used to, when I got like a new knife in from a certain company, in this case it's Aritsan Cutlery, I would do kind of a small part of my collection that's related to that brand. And I do have quite a few of these knives. It's been just a brand that kind of catches my eye. You'll kind of see as we go through it that, you know, some brands, they kind of seem to kind of look the same, put out very similar type knives. And that's good for, some brands, but this brand seems to go kind of back and forth, do different things. So really, there's only really two of the knives here that really look very much alike, and there's a reason for that, and you'll see why. This knife was won off of Beast Blades a couple weeks ago at the live. It wasn't me, though. I didn't win it. It was Vicky B, who happens to be my girlfriend. I've talked about her quite a bit on the channel. She has gotten a little bit more, not nearly as deep down the rabbit hole as I have, but she's gotten into it. And a big part of it had to do with going to Blade Show Atlanta and hanging out with Bees and Mrs. Bees, and Mrs. Bees and my girlfriend Vicky B. The B is just by chance. It's not any connection to the Bees Blaze, but Vicky B, she got along really well with Queen Bee because they both love animals so much, and so they have a lot in common in that area, and the fact that they have significant others that are nuts about knives. So anyway, she goes in on the live. She doesn't really chat so much, but she definitely gets in on the giveaways, and she won this one. This was a big giveaway, that one of the ones from Top Dog. And if you watch Bees Blaze live at Hive, and I don't know why you would not do that. In fact, this is being filmed on Friday, and in about an hour, a little over an hour from when I'm filming this, that Bees Blaze live at the Hive is going to be going on. So I gotta hurry up, get this thing uploaded, so I'm ready to be in the live this week, because I did miss it last week. This is the one. This will be the one tonight. That's right before the New Year's. So I think that's gonna be a good one. So I'm gonna try to get into it and get through it. Aritsan Cutlery. What she won was a knife, and this is kind of how it looks when you open it up. Giving you that experience. It's got like a velvety bag. It's kind of different. It's not the pouch thing. It's got this like little gold string, and it's pretty common for Aritsan Cutlery. And this is the Andromeda, and it is the budget version of the Andromeda. It's about $50 knife, so that's a good price for this. Really nice size knife, actually. Let's see how long the blade is. It's a 8R RPM 9 steel, and that is up there with really good budget steels. And we're talking about 3.5-inch blade here, guys. Nice knife, nice narrow, thin profile on it. G10 grippy. The texture, if you catch it in the light here, get a good focus on it. It's got that good G10 that you see with Spyderco and other brands. It's got the button lock that works really well. Good action. And the blade's a little lighter because it's so thin here, and it's got the nice swedge on the top, so it's got this really cool look. It's got this little thumb ramp thing up here. Kind of reminds me of the Emerson. Some of the Emerson knives have that kind of thing. It's a really cool design. Ray Laconico ARRPM9. And When you get this, you get the card, and it says all the things, all the information about it. Ceramic ball bearings is one of the things it talks about, CNC machined. So that's basically what you're going to get with the Artisan Cutlery purchases. Put that to the side because I'm going to move on. I got a lot to show you guys. I got a bunch of knives here. Since this is a budget knife, I'm going to, before I jump into Artisan, if you don't know, you probably do, they have a budget brand as part of their, kind of like the way we, Civivi and Syncut, you know, they got those different levels. And CJRB is that budget brand. And so here's 3 CGRBs. I'm not going to dwell on it too much because it's really more about Artisan Cutlery. But these are 3 knives, and even here you can see there's quite a difference in the designs of the knives. Now the pocket clips similar, but the blade shapes are all a little bit different. We'll start here with a very, very popular one. It's the Pyrite with the pink scales. G10, so it's keeping that price down. Button lock as well, and everybody knows about the Pyrite because it's been around, and a lot of people pick it as their best budget blade and all that kind of thing. It's really just struck a positive nerve with so many people. Great knife, and I'm glad to actually have one of these in my collection. And then this one here is one from a while back. This actually was designed, and you can see on the blade, by Swags. But this was back before she went over with Rosecraft. Before Rosecraft blades was around, she designed this knife. I think you can buy a version of this from Rosecraft. I could be incorrect on that one, but this one also has the RPM 9 blade steel, and I think this is like around when they first started using that steel, to the best of my knowledge. But it's cool. It's got a different kind of look to it, little belly, but still kind of sheep's footy, and it's got this little swedge on the top, but just kind of at the very end, so it gives a nice strong tip. There was the Milea, which is a smaller version, but this one is the more Milea, and as long as you're able to choke up here, got to be a little careful because it's not huge choil. You can get all 4 fingers on there. If you're coming back here, my pinky's dropping off. So it's still a smaller knife, but yeah, the more Milea is definitely more my size. Real snappy, cool little brass anodized thumb studs, and you got the front flipper. So nice little knife, great little budget knife from CJRB. And then this was very popular a while back, and tried to wipe it off, but it's still kind of dirty. I need to kind of clean this guy up. Kind of one I sleep on sometimes, meaning that I don't really carry it that as much. But definitely one that I got early on in my collecting. Saw some videos of people showing it, and just everybody. This is like almost like the Pyrite of like 3 years ago, or whenever these guys came out, because everybody was talking about it at that time. It's got great micarta. You know, you really can see the darkening here of the micarta scales, and it's got that excellent texture. Great blade shape. It's got a nice pokiness to it that I like. And I got to clean this guy up. This is a D2. I think this might have been before they were using that RPM 9 blade steel. So you saw a lot of D2, and I have a couple, even some of the Artisan Cutleries that I'm going to show you that are in D2. But that's just kind of briefly showing what I have in my collection from CJRB. But back to Artisan Cutlery. This one budget, but they also have a very premium one that I already had before my girlfriend won this one. I had this one. And this one is a really nice I I can't keep up with all the names. You know me and names. It's tough, but this has that carbon fiber. It's probably like a lava something, lava flow or something. There's a lot of different names, and I can't remember what they call this one, but it's got a nice overlay with that carbon fiber. Looks really cool. I'm not big on that. It's not really my go-to so much, but as a collector, I do like to have a few of these in the collection. A little fanciness. Titanium below the carbon fiber. It's got that same button lock, same blade shape. This blade steel is M390, so it's a little bit of an upgrade there too. So, if you are watching the channels and paying attention to these brands, like brands that bring budget knives, like I think I said that this is more like $50. This one's more like $200. So probably $230. What you're going to see, this is going to be about $56. So that's the big difference there. I mean, that's a big jump in price. That's almost an extra $200 that you're going to spend on this knife. Now, I didn't spend that much on it because I bought it used, secondhand, but it's in good shape. You can see it's a really, really nice shape. Little scuff here, that kind of thing. Doesn't really bother me that much. Even my my premium knives, I'll use them, and they are going to get scuffed up a little bit. They're going to get dirty. If I don't clean them, they'll stay dirty. I gotta stay up on that kind of stuff. But this one is a good knife. It's thin. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but certainly it wasn't. It was more around maybe $100, maybe less. I don't know. But great knife, Ray Laconico, well-known designer. He puts out some great stuff. He does several different designs for Artisan and other brands, I believe. So anyway, here we go. This is my most expensive Artisan, and this one is a budget one. It's not my. It is my least expensive, at least as far as what you're going to see on the websites. So I'm going to start coming in here now. The next one, which is also a budget knife, which is really kind of hard to imagine, is this guy right here. This is, and this is what I'm talking about, is that CJRB, they don't stay in a lane. They are all over the place with designs. This is a crazy knife, and it just jumped out at me at my first blade show that I went to. I saw this in the glass case down at the very bottom, and I said, "Wow, that looks like it's something made by Medford or something like that." I mean, it's just, and it is heavy because it is brass. This was, I think it was, this was an exclusive. Can't remember exactly which knife company. I think a Smoky Mountain Knife Works was exclusive for them, and having this all brass, and it's pretty amazing how much. I think it's not quite a pound, I don't think, but it's close. It's up there in that range. It is a monster, and you probably may have seen one of these, and like they recently came out with a premium version of this one. Kind of like these two Andromedas. Hope I haven't mentioned the name of that. The Andromeda. This is the Proponent, and recently they came out with a premium version of that. And anyway, I think this is probably the heaviest one because this is the full-size brass handled version. Moving up the list, as far as cost-wise, this is one that I picked up, and I bought this one. This is the first Artisan Cutlery knife I bought, and it also has this Warren Cliffy shape to the blade. This one is called a Mega Hawk, and it's got carbon fiber, not the fancy carbon fiber, just that regular kind. No texture there. It looks like texture, feels like it's really slick. But it's got steel liners. It's not titanium on this one, and that's what keeps the price down. This one is also under $100, and you can still get it. I was looking at it on the website, and it's a cool knife. It's got the swedge. It's got D2 steel again. Both of these two are D2. So I think that was common with Artisan Cutlery back when these knives were originally put out. The next one on my list, kind of moving along, it's called the Cazador. And this one also I bought used. So this one was a return. So I got a deal on this one. It was still kind of new, but it had been returned. This one was brand new. This obviously was because it was a win. This one here I bought secondhand. And again, you're seeing Wharncliffe blade, but definitely a different look and design to this thing with this swoop over the top and this big pivot with a pivot collar. I mean, the pivot's not that big, but just the outside of the head of it is like that. This also has really good, kind of similar to the blanking again. This knife, you know it, the Feldspar. It's got that kind of feel of the micarta. So it's good, grippy. Whereas this is very slick. This is definitely grippy. So it's a nice one, thin one. So it's similar to the Andromeda, the size. You look at the size of it. It's very close to it. But different shape for sure. So it's one of those ones that's easy to carry. It's not going to really take up much room in your pocket. But it's a cool little knife. And I got that as a deal on the secondhand market. Next one that we're doing with Artisan here. What's the next one? Oh, by the way, this one is our RPM 9. Now we're moving into a S35VN knife. This one is cool. Now, this one, this is a Rela Conoco design as well. This one is called the Centuri. And so it's getting up there. It's getting up a little bit more premium. It's around $100, so maybe not what you'd call budget, but it does have this cool titanium anodized pocket clip. It works really well. The handles on this thing are G10, but if you look at it, it almost looks like wood. It's a very nice look to that design on the G10. Slick, as G10 tends to be, unless it's like this where it's got that texture added to it. This one's slick, but it does have this. I think that's pretty common with a Rela Conoco, having that little fuller in the handle. It's a front flipper only. Nice little size knife. It's got good action. I'm not great with front flippers, and I can handle it most times. It's got that inset liner lock. Yeah, it's a really nice looking one. I remember I was visiting my parents one year, and they lived in Florida, and in a kind of a small townish area in Florida, and there really wasn't any knife shops around. And I was just deep into buying knives at the time, and I was there for probably a week and a half or something, and I was jonesing, and as I was getting ready to leave, I ordered this thing online so that it would be I would get it pretty soon after I got home. It is just a beautiful grind. That satin with the grind lines, really nice. But again, looking at all these different designs, I mean, you're talking about a lot of just different concepts going on in the way they do their knives, and I really like that. Now bumping more into the over $100 and more premium area on these Artisan Cutlery. This little guy, it's a pretty cool one. It's a S35VN again. And it is all anodized titanium, pocket clip, milled, frame lock. And it's a little bit more of a basic design. And it is actually called the Tradition. So maybe they call it Tradition because it has just more of a traditional kind of look to it. But it is a nice full flat with there's a little bit of almost 100% full flat grind on this blade. Very slicey. A smaller knife. It's a little bit larger than the Centuri, but it's still definitely smaller than a lot of these here. Probably, I'd say it's around a 3-inch blade length. Yeah, let's get this guy out and check it out. Yeah, no, a little bit more. It's about 3 1/4. Whereas the Andromeda is more 3 1/2. That's 3 1/4, so that's decent. But it does have this little bit of a choil, so your cutting edge is going to be 3 inches, right there. So anyway, it's got the nice titanium. It's lightweight. It's thin profile. With these premium ones, you tend to get this Artisan Cutlery engraved here on the what do you call this thing? The backspacer. Yeah, I'm on vacation here, and it shows. That's 35 VN, like I said. So you get that, and you get the Artisan Cutlery symbol. I think this one did not have that, so it really didn't start until we get into these knives. Now this one doesn't have it either, but I have seen it on a few knives. So that is the Tradition. And even though it's more of a basic look, it is also quite different than a lot of these other knives. And the last one I'm going to show is it's about a $150 knife. But it's a tiny little one. I think this is the smallest in the group. We'll see when I break it out. Now, it may not be as short as the Centuri because it is a long, little thin, almost like a gentleman's knife. We're talking about S35VN steel again. And we're talking about carbon fiber inlaid over titanium. But it is a tiny little thin knife. I mean, size-wise, let's see how the blade looks comparatively. Yeah, we're right around the length of the Centuri overall. Yeah, a little bit more. A little bit more. Let's see how it matches up to the Tradition. So this one is maybe a 3-inch blade then. But definitely slender and thin. So, gentlemen, Curry, I'd say so. And extremely light. I mean, it's not milled out titanium or anything, frame lock, but it's just so thin in this direction. It really doesn't take up much. And here we go again. We got that Artisan Cutlery, which I think is pretty cool. It gives it a nice little premium kind of look to it. Also has the symbol on the blade. That's pretty typical. I don't think I've ever seen any of theirs without it. But yeah, nice titanium pocket clip. Nice little knife. Definitely, I bought this, let's see, I bought these three all together on the secondhand market, kind of as like a package deal. The deal was, hey, I'll give you all these knives for this much money. And it really was a great price, and I couldn't turn it down. And like I said, I am a fan of Artisan Cutlery, so why not? Why not add on to the collection? And all different shaped knives. The only two that look similar are the ones with the same name, but it's got the premium and the budget. So there you go, guys. I've gone through it all. Wow, and it took a long time. I'm going to cut it off right now. I still hopefully will put out a couple more before I have to go back to work. But there it is, Artisan Cutlery. That's a little chunk of my collection. And I will see you. Maybe I'll see you in the hive tonight. But I will see you on the next one. Bye.